go to the clap. All right, let's see. This is the end of week 6 of the 7 weeks. So we've been working on the sun salutation all week.
That extra credits.
And we're going to continue to do that. And I'm excited about it, as always. And so take it easy if I do something and you need to make a little change for yourself. You know, really default on the side of keeping your spine and your torso in alignment in a pose, right? So if you're losing that, if you're losing your alignment, then that's where you need to find a way to alter what you're doing so that you can get your spinal alignment back. And I have here what I have for props. Or I do have the blocks. I was thinking we're going to try some lighter hand weights during it for part of it, I think. And then also I put out here my little prop that I use. It's lower than a chair seat. And so if you have something similar to that, that's like a little bit higher or more stable. It's not even higher than a block. If you look at it, it's not really that much higher than a block, but it's a lot more stable than a block. And so that can be helpful. This thing that you don't have to have one like that, but if you do, or if you have something similar, like a stool, you know what I'm trying to describe, like something low, but really stable. You could use it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we really need to have. And then the next class, you guys, the next class today, I'm going to be using the melt rollers. And oh my gosh, I'm like, I cannot wait because I got my Peloton this week and I've been on it every day and I've been sweating. My whole face turns red because I'm not used to doing so much cardio. And I have the fair skin. So it goes, everything gets red. My nose has been running, which I've never noticed that happens to me, but I think it's some kind of inflammatory response to the cardio. I don't know. So I'm just trying to get used to it all. And I've been vacuuming in the basement a lot too and running the air purifier because I'm allergic to dust. So it could be that. And then I've been, doing that. So I'm trying to get my cardio up, so it's been a good week for that. And I cannot wait because I've got that, that feeling when you've worked out and you feel your muscles, but it's not so sore that you're like stiff and you can't do things, but you feel them, right? I've got that feeling. So I'm really looking forward to doing the roller and the balls and stuff in the melt class. I've been doing it anyway all week because it feels so good. All right, so that's the intro. Any questions about anything I just said there about our intro? All right, see if you can get yourself set up so I can see you, because that'll help a lot in terms of me giving you feedback on the poses. And then let's go ahead and start standing today. We'll do like kind of an active starting position. So you can kind of get yourself into the field of view if you take a second and do that. And then I guess I better mark this as the spotlight and this one as the other spotlight. All right. Put you guys up here. All right, I can see you guys well. It seems like when there's 9 people in the holiday squares or 9 blocks in the holiday squares, it's a really good view for me. Oh, and I didn't switch the. There it is. Started putting a 10-pound weight in front of the door so the dog can't push her way in because the door doesn't really latch. All right, so we'll start out standing and then let's just check in with what we've got going on today. You can shake it out. Do a little rebounding. So rebounding is the thing where we do the bending and and straightening, pulsing, bouncing move. That's what the rebounding is. You guys are like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, 2 of you have got it. 3 of you have got it. Yeah, I wanted to see how many of you guys could figure it out. So this thing's the rebounding. Okay, and then now I'm just gonna pause and let myself V with my eyes closed. So I'm just gonna go where I go. So I'm noticing sensation in the body. And then I'm gonna open my eyes and look at my feet just to see what they did. And so what you're looking for in the feet is differences in the sides and then any tendency to either turn them in or in the rare case, turn them out, or in the rare case, turn them in. So you're just kind of looking for that. And then because I can see myself so well in the camera, I can tell, like, am I leaning forward a little? And I am leaning forward a little bit, and my hands are a little forward as well. So what I'm going to do is lift my toes and relax and see where my weight goes. And then now soften the knees a little if they weren't already. And then close your eyes and just go inward and breathe. And so what you're going to do this breathing exercise, we're going to inhale. And you're going to feel your breath go right into the center of the pelvis, right toward the pelvic diaphragm. And then on the exhale, you're going to feel your spine lengthen. And continue to do that. Good. Try to close your eyes. Try to go inward and feel inward. Try to see if you can feel and notice. Inhaling, feeling the breath go into the center of the pelvic diaphragm. Exhaling, lengthening. It feels like a gentle lengthening of the spine. Remember, the knees are a little bit bent. And then bring the hands together, palm to palm. And I'm going to invite you to own with me 3 times. Let's set our intention to be true to our alignment, to be true to the alignment of our spine during our practice. So you really want to feel right now, feel that alignment. And you can just do some little check-in exercises. Think about that. Think about the slight drawing in of the shoulder blades, the hugging in of the front ribs, the neutral pelvis, the stability left and right in the pelvis, the length in the spine. And then I invite you to own with me 3 times. Inhale. Om. And then take the arms with the elbows a little bit bent. Open the chest without losing your spinal alignment, so you're drawing your shoulder blades together. Inhale here. Exhale, and now round. Inhale, open, and you're just drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting the sternum up. Exhale and round. Do it again. Exhale and round. And I'm really not moving my pelvis. Now you could move it. It's not that it's wrong to move it, but I'm trying to focus on getting the chest open So I'm trying to stabilize in the pelvis. I've got the knees bent. I'm trying to stabilize the pelvis and get the rib cage area to move. Good. Now take the arms up overhead. Take one hand to the opposite wrist. Draw yourself up really tall. You can have your arms bent, but draw yourself over to the side without using your arms to do the movement, right? It's your spine. And so it's almost like you're pulling back against, right? In any bind, the two things that are connecting are pulling opposite ways. So see if you can feel that. And then we'll come back up. And then we'll do the other side. So hold on, go tall, and then go over. I'm going to do it again on the other side. So come back, inhale tall, exhale over. Inhale back, switch sides, and get really tall, exhale over. Okay, great. Come back to center, release that. Turn to face either your blocks or your props. So you can have blocks or you can have your slightly elevated floor props that I have here. Either one. And then have a little bend in the knees. And then let's step back and forward. So we're just practicing stepping back. And be a little bold with your stepping back, you know. It doesn't need to be really active and bouncy and energetic, but it should feel connected with the floor in that moment when you get the leg back there. So you're like, feel the floor. Feel the floor. Good. And see if you can play a little game, like step a little bit, just do right leg. Step a little bit back, step forward, step a little farther back, step forward, step farther back still. And then just for kick, step as far back as you can, just because, just to see what happens. And then, you know, you can use that back leg to step forward. And then do the same on the other side. So step a little back, step a little farther back, step a little farther back. And then just to be crazy, step as far back as you can, even if it makes you wobbly and you have to turn your hip out and everything, and you twist your front leg, whatever. And then just check in with it, bend the back leg, and step forward. All right, so now go to the right leg back and pick some reasonable stance, even if you have to nudge it back there. And then take the back leg. I've got the back foot turned out a little bit. My hips are square with the front. Ish, right? And so if you need to make your feet wider apart left to right to get the hips to feel more comfortable square, that's one thing you can do. And another thing you can do is not let the heel go down, right? So the heel can be up, but it's directed towards the mat. That's important. I should turn on my other lights so that my foot shows better. I forgot to do that. I'll do that in a second. So you're here, and then what we're gonna do is we're kind of, maybe you can feel a little tightness right here. So hinge forward just a little bit so your back lines up with your leg. And then that'll probably help your heel get down if it wasn't down. And then you're going to inhale and you're going to exhale and knit in your core. Inhale. Exhale, knit in your core. That looks really good. Really, really good. Again. And now hold it, knit in with the arms out to the side. And grow like there's one long line between your heel and the crown of your head. And so you're going really, so flat back, and you're not really leaning forward that much. You're really lined up with your back leg. So really feel, some of you guys are leaning too far. Line yourself up with your back leg, grow long, and really hug in, and just hold it hugged in the whole time. So let's see, Anne, you need to come up higher. Marilyn, you need to come just a little bit up higher. Carol, you could come up just a tiny bit, not that much, but Anne still up more, flat back, yeah, long. Okay, now if you can reach your arms like this and feel your back leg really connecting, pull in your core whole lot like you're doing plank pose. Okay, good. Bend the front knee, bring your hands either to your blocks or your prop and lift your back toes so you're in flexion in the back foot. And then the ball of the foot is down and send the heel back. And so you are going forward and back right now. So usually I tell you don't go forward and back. Right now we are. So see how I'm doing my ankle and the ball of my foot. So we usually don't do this, but we're doing it today. And then if your hamstring in the front leg allows you to get a good stretch here with a flat back, do it. But if you can't get a good stretch in the front leg, so you're really trying to get a long flat back, and you're trying to stretch the hamstring on the front leg, and you've got this elevation. Cindy, where's your headstand prop? Use that thing. Use it. You're the only one with one. Yeah, good. All right, and then now soften the front knee and bring the back knee down. And if you can put your toes down, do that, and then come to your proposal pose. And then in your proposal pose, still feeling that engagement in the front and the deep core, maybe you choose to shift a little bit forward. And again, find the feeling of your back lining up with your knee now. And get really long, pull the core in. Really flat back. I see some rounded back. So if your back gets rounded, remember the promise you made at the beginning of class to yourself. So if the back gets rounded, put the arms in a different position so you can keep the back flat. All right, and then I'm going to bring the hands to the prop, lift up the back leg, and step back into a down dog here. And so the prop is really important for down dog for this. So if you have the blocks on their highest height, don't try to do down dog on them because it's just not real stable. So you can put them on a lower height, or you can use something else. Like a stool works okay, I think. And an ottoman sometimes works. Really long, really long, really long in the spine, and wag the tail a little bit. Wag it. Oh, that feels so good. And now shift the rib cage a little bit. Oh. Good. And then from here, let's bring the hands, if they're not already on the floor, bring them down to the floor, send the hips way, way back and go into your bear squat. Feel the hips are working, feel the back is doing that same thing. It's like plank. Pick up the core off the thighs. So I'm in my bear squat, you guys. Some of you guys aren't in the bear squat. If you can do that's the bear crouch. Some of you guys have the bear crouch. All right, and then I'm gonna push into the floor and rise. All right, so come all the way up. So some of you guys are in the bear crouch instead of the bear squat. I know that's confusing, isn't it? I need to come up with, I thought that would work, but maybe not. All right, so now hover one leg. So you're just doing a little balance. You can have it in any place, any position. Doesn't have to be high, but you're feeling that your hips are stable. And then we'll put that down and then we'll do the other side. So hover the other one. And again, it doesn't need to be high, but you're just practicing around. So a fixed point to look at. If you're on a cushy surface, it is a little harder to balance. So cushy would be like carpet or a very thick mat. Think about drawing yourself up tall. I just caught myself in the camera noticing I was leaning back. None of you guys are leaning back. I don't know why I was doing it, but all right, and then we'll put that down. Okay, and then from here, let's see if we could just do alternating sides and we'll tap them, right? Like we like to do. And then we'll just walk forward again to our prop. Okay, and step the left leg back. And you're in pyramid now on the other side. And then again in your pyramid, make sure your stance is a little bit, adventurous. And then you're picking up and pulling in on the deep core. You're connecting with the hips. Remember, you can have the feet a little wider left, right in order to get the hips square. And then you're going to hinge forward only enough that you line up with your back leg. So it's not much. And then you pull the core in like crazy. And so let's do right here in this position, let's do 3 times. Here goes. Really pull that core in. Feel the length. Do it again. So it should feel like plank. That's what this feels like. Create the feeling of plank. And again, and now hold it in there, pulled in, and see if you can add the arms without losing your spine. Now, if you can't do it, that's okay. Put them somewhere else. You can bend them and do goalposts, whatever you need to do to keep your spine. It's okay. Like, don't lose your spine. That's our intention to ourselves. Nice. And then let's hinge forward to the chair, bend the front leg and step the back leg back into the lunge or chair or whatever you have, your prop. And then I've got my foot. I'm going to check my foot. This is my naughty foot, right? So I'm going to check it. I want to keep my ankle right over the center of the foot. I'm checking it. Okay. Now I'm going to keep it there and move forward and back. And this is a foot stretch. So you have to keep the ball of the foot down. So if your foot is so tight you can't do that, it's the other one, the one we do a 10. That's the one that's the right one for stretching your feet. So if you can't keep the ball of your foot down while you do this movement, it comes off the floor, right? Then you're not actually stretching the right area because your toes are so tight is all. It's just because your toes are tight. We can make them looser. And then I'm going to send the heel back and I'm going to see about hamstring on the front leg. And again, I want to get the feeling of that really long spine. And so you can go up as high as you need to, but get that back flat and feel the hamstring. Sending both hips back. And so the front leg isn't bent, right? Like it might be bent a little, but it's not a lunge. This is called runner stretch is the name of this thing. And some of you guys, I think, can send your heel way, way back even to the ground. I think you shouldn't. That what you ought to do is really feel your back hip and energizing and pressing back with the heel, but I think it shouldn't go to the ground. Now, I might be wrong about that though. All right, and then I'm going to soften the front leg and slide that front leg back and come to the down dog. And then we can wag the tail. Waggy wag. And then you can shift the upper body too. Oh yeah, that feels like a good feeling. Oh, I like it. And then I'm going to bend my knees and put my hands on the mat. And now listen close because two of you guys did the wrong bear pose version. So walk the hands towards the feet, but now you're all on your feet, no hands on the floor. Then send the hips way back behind you and pick your ribs up off your thighs. That's the bear version. This is the squatting bear. I don't know what I said. Did I say it right? So we're squatting, not crouching. Or crawling, right? The other one's like a crawl. Oh, this is so hard, this thing. And then we're going to push evenly into the legs to come up. Good. And then this time, shift the weight into, I'm going to do right leg this time and open the hip into a mini tree. And maybe you put it down low in the leg, but you want to push the leg and foot together and pull the core in. So see if you could just feel that connection. I'm really leaning, it looks like in the picture. And then we'll switch sides. See if I'm the same on this side. No, I'm not. Look at that. It's really different. I'll have to check on that. Push it in. I'm feeling inner hips, a lot of inner hips, a lot of activity in the hips. All right, and then now do this alternating tapping move. Nice, and then we'll just walk it forward again. Okay, so now with our prop, whatever it is, let's do our modified sun salutation A. Little bend in the knees, inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Let's just come to a flat back. Good. And then go back into your down dog. Oh, actually, we should just go to plank. I screwed that up. Go back into plank. And then do a little push up. And then go to down dog. And then you can either hop, step, or walk forward. I'm just going to walk forward. I'm going to bend my knees, flat back, push into the floor and rise. Let's do that one again because I kind of messed it up. So we'll fold. So this is a version of sun salutation A where you use a chair or a substantial prop. The other version, if you have the blocks, you can't do quite as much stuff with it. All right, so we're here. So we're going to step back into plank. So remember, you don't want to be on the highest side of the blocks with plank. So that's always true. Nice. Send the heels back. Lift up the core. And then let's do a little push up. Good, and then go into your down dog. And then step or hop your feet forward. Flat back, knees are really bent. Use the legs to come up and out. And then I'm gonna try to do that right now. I'm gonna get rid of my chair and do it with the blocks on the lowest side. Because I looked at you guys, so like this version of Sun A keeps the spine flat. So let's see, so let's try it. Inhale, see if I can do it with these blocks. Exhale. So I got the flat back. Then I'm gonna step back into plank. I'm keeping the flat back, here it is. Then I'm gonna try to do my push up, which is hard. And then I'm going to keep the flat back and go into down dog. And then from here, step forward, still with the flat back. So the whole time we're keeping this flat back. And then I'm going to use the legs to push up and come out. All right, and then now I'm going to move the blocks out of the way. So it's sort of like the limbo. We do the limbo sometimes, you know. And now I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to try to keep my back flat without with the floor, and that's harder. So here goes. So the first trick for doing it is if I had really tight hamstrings, what I would do is as I go down, right as I transition from here to putting my hands down, my heels would come off the floor. See that? So just practice that a few times. So that's the trick for keeping the back flat there. And then once your heels are off the floor, stepping back to plank. And then do your little push up. And then go up into your down dog, still flat back. And then here's where it's going to get difficult. So what I'm going to end up doing is when I step forward, I'm going to step onto the balls of my feet so that I can keep my back flat. So I'm going to step one leg, and I can only get so far. And then the other leg, and I'm on the balls of my feet. So I'm back to where I was. But I'm on the balls of my feet with a flat back. Then I'm going to put the feet down, push into the floor and rise. All right, and I want you guys to try that. If you want to keep using your prop, go ahead. I want to watch you though. So I'm just going to cue it. So let's try it. So inhale, the arms up. So if you want to keep using your prop, you can. Otherwise, you could use the floor, and I want to just see how it goes. So you're bringing your hands down, and your heels are up, and your back is flat. Good job. Some of you guys, you look fabulous. Step the legs back into the plank. Keep that back flat. I'm trying to get my angle on the camera so that that's better maybe. I think maybe that's why I look so funky. I look like I'm leaning to one side when I'm on the camera. Well, that looks good. Do your little push up. You guys are looking sharp. Nice. And then go back to your down dog. All right, and now step one leg forward and then the other. It doesn't matter how far it gets. And then you're going to let the foot go into the ball of the foot and get the back to be flat. Knees are bent. You're on the ball of the foot. And then bend the knees a lot, push into them and rise. Yeah, so that's just like a lot more functional than a traditional sun salutation. When we do a traditional sun salutation, there's a lot of bending of the spine, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in your day-to-day movement, that's not how you'd want to move, right? You want to stabilize your spine when you're lifting and moving things around and stuff. So that's what we're trying to do. So let's do it again, because I noticed that when you're flexible, it's really tempting to let the flexibility be used to get to the floor. So let's see if we can change that a little. So we're just going to do some stuff here. So bear with me. So you're going to get into a chair kind of pose. Really pull the front ribs in, get the spine long. Feel the hips, feel everything working. Press the palms. And then this is our revolved chair, if you remember that one. And then we come through center, and then we do the other side. And I'm not letting my hips turn. And come through center and do it again. And then come through center and other side. And so this is core when we do this. All right, and then come back to center. Now lower even a little bit more so that your hips are going back, back, back. And so it's almost like the bear pose, and your back is really flat. And then what you want to feel in the bear pose is you want to feel like, can I get, like me, I can get my hands to the floor with my back flat and my legs back, right? With my feet on the floor. Just see if you can. So what I would encourage is in this, the weight is a little bit forward, more forward, Marilyn. And your hands are more forward, even more. Good, and now lengthen your spine, get it flat. Get it, like pull your shoulder blades together. And then let your hips go back. Let your hips, like bend your hips a lot. Like even bend your knees, sorry. Yeah, okay, that's something to work on. All right, that's like just a thing. This is hard, but it feels really good. All right, step the legs back into plank. We're gonna work on that in a second. And then be in your plank. Really pay attention to what is your back doing in plank. Do you feel the connection? And then do your little push up. And then go up into your down dog. And then let's, instead of walking the feet forward, let's walk up, hands back. So walk your hands back, and as you're doing it, bend your knees, end up sitting way, way back and come into your squatting bear. Yeah, so now you're in squatting bear. And then pull up on the core, really pull up on the core. Good, and then now see if you can let your weight go forward and put your hands down and stay in squatting bear. Pull up on the core. And then put the weight back in your feet and push up and rise. That's hard. You can shake it out. I thought it was hard. All right, so now let's have some fun. So this next round, we're gonna do sun salutation, step backs. And we'll just do 2 rounds of it. I'm gonna elevate the floor for lunge. You know, you can do it in whatever kind of prop or whatever. But the idea is to keep your form, to keep your spine. All right, so here goes. So inhale, exhale, bring the hands to the chair, step the right leg back into a lunge. And then just make it a really good lunge. You can keep using the support, but you know, feel your legs, really feel your legs. Long, flat back. Feel those leggy legs. And then step back into your down dog. Really engage the core. I've got a pretty big down dog for having this elevated prop. So I'm really engaging the core. I'm using the middle of my back. I'm going to come forward to the plank and do the little baby push-up. Gosh, that's easier than on the mat. And then go back again. And then now I've got to step the right leg forward for lunge. And again, I'm going to get a really good lunge. So I'm really practicing my lunge. So I'm still using the chair, but I'm just using it for balance. And I'm getting the spine is lined up with the back leg right now, which is much easier. Well, it's easier, but it's really important, right? How much you're working when you're in this is the same amount, if not less, than how you should be working when you're upright. But what happens is we don't. So I'm trying to get you to feel that work. Then step the back leg forward, find the flat back, and press into the legs and rise. And then we'll do the other side before you get fancy. Okay, so we're gonna hinge forward, we got the flat back. We're gonna step the left leg back. Good, and let that heel feel the weight. Let that spine go into that long working position where you're lifting off your thigh. It's actually a fair amount of work. And you're feeling your legs. And the more you try to spread your knee and your heel away from each other, that's the stretch part of this, if you choose it. Okay, and then we'll go to our down dog. And I'm letting myself go into a pretty big down dog with this thing, but it's not moving, so I'm okay. I'm wondering if I'm gonna slide is the thing. But so far, so good. Then I'm gonna come into the plank. So when I get a big down dog, I don't have to adjust my feet between plank and down dog, that's why. And then do a little push up, boop. Really lift the core and go into your down dog. Again, and now this time step the right leg forward. Oh no, sorry, the left leg forward, I lied. And then get your alignment here. So really play with your lunge alignment. Make sure you're doing your best lunge alignment. Trying to make it a for real lunge. Your spine's lined up, you're using your core. Then use the back leg to push forward. You got your flat back. You inhale, push into the legs and rise. Okay, great. Now let's do side bending again before we get fancy. So I'm going to take the right hand to the left wrist. Elbows can be bent. I'm going to lift my spine, lengthen the spine, and then side bend. And then as I go into the side bend, I want to feel this length, this even connection in the bind. The core is knit in. And then come up to center, do the other side. Inhale, exhale, and go in. Don't lock those knees. They want to lock. And then come back up to center. All right, on this round, we're going to do step backs, and we're going to put into the step back, warrior two, triangle, and extended side angle. So when we do the step back, we're going to do warrior two, triangle, extended side angle. Here goes. Bend the knees. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Step the right leg back. Make sure you have a nice long lunge, really long. So if you have to step it back more than once, do it. Like wiggle around, get your lunge. Turn the back foot and come up into warrior two. Good. Draw the shoulder blades together. Knit the core in. Lift up on the inner legs. One more breath. And now straighten the front leg and go into a gentle triangle pose. Stay up high, line your spine up with your back leg. So you're lining your spine up with your back leg. Keeping the flat back, pulling the core in, all of the good stuff. Now bend the front leg, and you can either put the hand on your prop or on the leg or in front of the leg and go into your version of extended side angle, whatever that is for you. Doesn't have to be the exact same as anybody else's. Front leg's bent. It's like triangle pose and warrior two had a baby. And then from here, bring that top arm around and see if you can lift the heel and go back to lunge. And this is like a huge stance for my lunge. Wow. Whew, I can barely do it. I'm going to slide the front leg back. And then from here, I'm going to step back into down dog. And again, you can have a big down dog as long as your prop won't slide. And then from it, if you do have a long enough one, you'll be able to move into plank. Good, and then you can do your little push up. And then go back to your down dog. And now we're gonna step the right leg forward now. I'm gonna turn around so that I can still face you guys. So the right leg's forward and you're in lunge. Get a nice big one. Turn the back foot and come up into warrior two on this side. And make sure you get that lifted feeling in the inner leg, the connection in the hips and core. Feel it work. More breath. And then from here, straighten the front leg, but line up your spine with your back leg. So you're in triangle pose, but you're using your legs a lot, you're using your core a lot. You need to hinge at the hip on that front leg. Hinge at the hip. Lining up your spine. Feel the back leg connecting. I turned my body, you guys, so that I was able to still see you. So don't let that confuse you. And then from here, I'm going to go into whatever my extended side angle is. You have lots of options. Oh, really make sure you're keeping your spine long. Be true to your spine. Okay, great. And then you can take that top arm around and try to lift the back heel, which I had to fidget with because it was just too big of a stance. So I'm going to be here in this really big stance though, and I want to really play with it a little. So I'm just trying to play with this stance. I want to feel, using my muscles. Because, you know, it's a big stance, so that can be helpful. And then I'm going to take the back leg and step it forward. Knees are bent, push into the forearms. Okay, good, and release. Nice. All right, so on this next one, we're going to do sun salutation step backs again. And this time, we're going to lead with the left leg. And what we'll do is when we get up into our warrior two, we're going to play around. I should have probably done this on the first round, but I got excited. So what we're going to do to play around is you're going to do the thing where we go one way, we do side bending, and we go one way and then the other way. And where you do, whatchamacallit, where you do you know, moving the shoulders different ways and stuff. So we'll do the side to side move, and then we'll do the shoulders, and we'll do like doorknobs or something. All right, so first one will be side to side, flowing side to side and warrior two. Then we'll do the body moving, then we'll do the doorknobs. All right, here goes. Left leg leads. Inhale, exhale, step the left leg back into lunge. Before you do anything, make sure you got a really good lunge. Get your good lunge. Feel it. Then turn the back foot and come up into warrior two. And really lift with the inner leg, sink into it, pull the core in. And then the flowing movement is like this. And you can let your spine side bend for this one. If you want to, you can, this is side bending it, like the way I'm doing it. I'm not hinging at my hip. I'm just side bending my spine. I'm staying in my warrior two. Good, with the breath. And then the next one's going to be the, I don't know, belly dancer. I don't know what this is. And we can go both ways. So the movement's in the torso more than anywhere. The arms just flow from the torso. And then the final one's doorknobs. And this is the shoulders themselves turning in and out. And I'm grabbing the doorknobs with my hands. Okay. And then from here, take the top arm around and lift the back heel. Try to be in a really long stance again and just feel it, be in it and feel it. Like, give it a chance. You're not sagging, you're spreading them apart and using your muscles just to feel this big stance. And then step back and go into your down dog. I wonder if he's calling me. Pineville, Oregon, probably a telemarketer. And then come into your plank and feel that. Do your little push-up. Go back into your down dog. And then it's going to be the left leg that steps forward. I'm just going to turn again so that I can still see you guys. So left leg goes forward, back leg is back. Right leg is back. Get it to be a good lunge before you change it. Really feel your core engage. then turn the back leg, and then come up into your warrior two. On this side, I'm so different than I am on the other side. Oh, I'm trying really hard to engage the muscles that don't want to engage. And then I'm going to do my side bending, flowing movement. Just for funsies. I don't think we're going to pick up the weights today, you guys. I just think I'm having enough of a workout without them. And then we can come to the center and do our, whatever this is, flowing. This is my rib cage moving. I'm moving my rib cage. And so that side to side rib cage move, we move, and now I'm just letting my arms go with it. And then now stabilize and do the shoulders. And I still didn't turn on that light. If I had the light on, you'd be able to see me better. Okay, and then take the top arm around, and the heel is up, and then check in with your lunge, like make it a for real lunge, feel the connection. And then step the back leg forward, and then push into the floor and rise. All right, great. All right, hang tight. I'm getting tired. I don't know what time it is. Let me see. 9:16. So we have to do 2 more rounds for something that I want to do. And I'm not looking forward to it because I'm tired. So I'm going to give myself a break for a minute. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a round where we have to get back up to standing, but we're going to do a round where we get down onto our bottoms. Okay, so here goes. So inhale. Exhale down, and you could use your prop for this. I'm going to hinge forward here. And then I'm going to slowly lower my hips down. Now, if my heels come up, that's fine. And I'm going to put my hips down. Now, I use my prop to to help myself get down there. So if you can't get down that way, you get down however you can. And then lower down. Good. And then with the legs in good alignment, feel free to put a block between them if you want. You're going to lift the hips up and lower them. And if you wanted to pick up light hand weights here, you could. We can lift them up and lower them. But I have some good, more standing stuff that I want to do. So that's what's going on. I'm tired. My legs are really tired from everything I've been doing this week. And then also the fact that I'm on the keto diet, you guys, it's super low carbs. And so I feel like what happens is you can't store your glycogen in your muscles. So, because there's no glucose. So it makes my muscles feel more fatigued. All right, so I'm doing this movement. I'm gonna hold the hips up and do the flexion and extension at the wrists. I turned the light on. I don't know how much it helped. I think what the problem is the side, it's kind of bright outside. And so it's coming in and making my arms disappear. So in this position, I'm holding the hips up. I want to feel the activity there in my inner legs, all around the hips. Okay, and then I'm going to put the weights down, lower the hips down. Good. Put the hands behind the head. Let the head be heavy in the hands. And then exhale and come up and hold. Really knit the core in. Inhale and come down. Exhale, come up and hold. Really knit the core deeply, deeply knit it in. Inhale and come down. Exhale, do it again. Inhale. Exhale again. Inhale. Exhale again. Inhale. Exhale again. Inhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And the last one. Inhale. All right, whoo, I felt that. And then from here, let's roll like a ball. And if rolling like a ball doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it. I'm just rolling. I'm going to come up around, go to all fours. And again, you can get here in a different way than me. And the elbows are a little bit bent. And then we're going to do, let's do serratus puffs. And then have your knees wide, big toes together, hands are kind of in front. Go into a moving thread the needle, so you're not stopping, you're just moving with it, but your hips are stable, getting that rotation. You guys actually are looking really good in the spine. Stuff you've been doing today. You've been trying to keep your awareness. Then from here, I'm gonna make sure my prop's back on this thing here, all set. But I'm gonna come into a knees down plank and then really find your for real knees down plank. Like what I found working with Cindy is you gotta get your knees far enough back for this pose to work. If you keep your knees close, it doesn't work. Good, so feel your core 3 times. More. And then we'll slowly lower down. And now do the thing where you reach your feet away, but your thighs are really light on the floor and your core is really pulled in. And then your upper body comes up, but not very high. And you're just working here in this almost neutral, it's almost like you're in plank. And then now, instead of having to hold up your middle, now you do still have to pull in your middle, but you're holding up the other parts, the middle of the back, which holds up the front of the body, and the activity in the lower body that lifts the thighs. So it's not, it is locust pose, but it's a really weird locust pose. All right, and then from here, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, push back up to your knees down plank. Good, and then come back and we're gonna come up into a down dog here. So I'm gonna tuck the toes, get myself up into a down dog. And then in the down dog, you're gonna walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend the knees, let the hips go way back. And again, you can come up a little higher than we've been doing. Hover up higher and get that flat back feeling here with the weight back and really pulling the core. So we're just feeling the core pulling in and all the work in the hips. But again, we're higher than we've been, so it's not quite as hard. But maybe it'll be easier to make it hard with the work that you do. Internal work. And then push into the floor and rise. All right, and then we'll walk forward. All right, so on this round, we're gonna go from lunge to, look at how tilted I look. Is that really how tilted I am, or is it the camera? So I can't tell. I think it's the camera. All right, so we're gonna do step back with the right leg. Then we're gonna go into, and we're gonna do a high lunge. Then we're gonna do a warrior 1. And then we'll probably do like a warrior 3 just for fun. So have props, because the warrior 3 will be much more fun with props. Okay, so here goes. So it's lunge, warrior 1, warrior 3. Here goes. Inhale. So it's step backs, but then we're gonna go down, and then we'll do the right leg step back. Make sure it's a good lunge. We're gonna come up into high crescent lunge, and we're gonna play around in high crescent lunge with all the same stuff you had to do when we were lining up with the back leg. So notice I bent my back leg because I'm trying to get my spine supported. So I'm really trying to get my spine supported. So that's why I did that. And if I straighten my leg, I think I can still do it. That's as straight as I can make it. It's really hard for me. That's so hard. Now I'm going to spin the back leg down, and that's warrior one. And try to get yourself into a stance where you can get a lunge. It's always the challenge to get the hip to face front with the leg turned out and the front leg bent. That's the challenge. If you cannot get your back heel down, other people will not tell you this, but I'm going to say, let the heel be up and direct the heel towards the floor. So it doesn't really matter that much if it goes down, but it shouldn't be up much. And then from here, the last one is warrior three. So the way my foot is isn't placed very well, but I'm going to just try to deal with it. So turn to lunge, and then I'm just going to slide my front leg back because it was under the prop. And then we'll go into warrior three like this. Now you do not have to be in a full warrior three. You can have your both legs bent. This back leg can be low. Whatever you choose, see if you can get your spine to line up. Push through the back leg. Feel the hips. This is challenging for the hips. Make the hips do this. Make them do it. And then bring it to, oh, and then put the back leg back again. And step into down dog. Almost forgot where we were. All right, so we're here. And then come into your plank. Do your little push up. Nice, go back to your down dog. And then we'll do the other side. And I think I'm not going to turn this time. I'm just going to, because it's a forward facing pose, not a side facing. So I'm just going to stay the way I am. So I'm going to step the right leg forward, get into a really good lunge. And then I'm going to come up into high crescent lunge, feeling again that deep core, which I have to really work to pull in and stabilize because the hip flexor pulls. That's why that happens. The hip flexor pulling, I'm fighting against my hip flexor. And then I'm going to take the back leg and spin it out and go into warrior one on this side. And this side, it's really hard for me to go into warrior one. So you can see I'm letting my back heel come a little teeny bit off the floor and pulling in my core. I'm really directing that heel towards the floor, but using all my muscles so that I can still have a warrior one. Because if the foot's on the floor, my hip is not in the good alignment. That's why. Good, and then I'm going to use the front leg to hop up into warrior three. And then get really long there. So feeling, and it's a supported warrior three, you know, you want to feel, you don't want your top leg to be like above your hip or anything. So just really press through the foot on the top leg. And then instead of going back to lunge, here we'll let the leg come down. We'll hinge, push into the floor and rise. Okay, and then we're just going to break for a sec. So that was so good. How was that? What do you guys think? You want to do one more version of it starting left, same thing? Or you want me to just give it something else? I've got another thing we can do. Which do you want? The other thing? Other thing? Or the same thing? Other thing. Okay, so the other thing, is the other thing right? That's what you wanted, other thing? Yeah, okay. So the other thing is going to be, we're going to step back into pyramid. We're going to lead with the left leg. So we'll go into pyramid, and we're going to do an actual pyramid pose, which I don't always do. Then we're going to come up and do some movement. We're going to do some, maybe we'll do that first. Change my plan. Step back into pyramid, we'll do movement. We'll do side bending, we'll do rotation, we'll do shoulder circles, things like that. Then we'll do an actual pyramid. Then we'll come up and do a high revolved triangle. Here it goes. Bend the knees, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. It's left leg stepping back. You're going to do a pyramid setup. And then come up into your pyramid and feel your hip alignment. Really lift through. Even though you're energizing that back leg, you're lifting through the inner back leg. And then feel the connection in your hips. Take the arms out to the side. And let's do what we did, remember earlier in class, where we went inhale and you draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale round, and it was just the upper back, it wasn't the hips. Shoulder blades, upper back. So when we do the upper back, we're really knitting the front ribs in. That's what I'm hoping you'll feel. And when you draw the shoulder blades together, you're drawing the shoulder blades together. And then now find what both working at once. So the shoulder blades drawing together and the front ribs, and then do rotation. And the next one we'll do is side bending after we do this. Oh, this feels good. And then now I'm going to come back to center, take the arms up like we've been doing, take one hand to the opposite wrist, feel your connection, side bend. So you're feeling all the stuff connected so you don't fall over. That's the challenge. And then come up through center, switch sides, side bend. Really connect in the hips, connect in there, deeply connect in there. Come up through center, bring the hands to the shoulders or somewhere around there. It doesn't have to be on them. Do the appellate shoulders with the elbows going back. All right, good. And then now we're going to find the legs again. Hinge forward to line up with the back leg. Really pull the core in. Continue to hinge forward. And then for real, oh, that was a big clunk. I don't even know what it came from. For a real pyramid, the chest is really open. So there's some sort of bind behind. And we didn't warm up for this, not like officially. So you can do the chest open like a pigeon, but pull the ribs in. Okay, then come up from here. We're almost done on this leg. So you thought it was going to be easier than the other one. All right, hips are attached, connected. Take the arms out to the side, really feel it. Hinge forward to line up with the back leg again. Really knit in. And now just twist to the right. Revolve triangle up high. Right, twist to the right. There you go. All right, nice. And then come back to your chair and let's take what really will feel like a break in down dog. Woo, that was the thing, wasn't it? Wow, I really thought that was the thing. I'm wagging my tail. I'm gonna side my torso. It's a real narrow down dog, that's fine. And then let's not even bother with plank. Instead of doing plank, let's do, what do you call them? Turbo dog. So you're just bending the elbows and straightening. So this just does it's a little bit of arm work. You want to make sure it's really your elbows you're bending. I can see people using their spines, Marilyn. Use your elbows, use them. Come on, use your elbows. I can see some people using their hips, Eleanor. Make sure the elbows are working. All right, it's okay. I know we're tired, or at least I'm tired. And then step the left leg forward and find a pyramid on this side. And then come up. So now we've got this pyramid, and you're going to really connect in with it. Feel it. Make it be a super good pyramid. Feel that, feel that, feel that. And then take the arms out to this. Oh, actually do this one first. Pull the front ribs in. Knit the shoulder blades together. Front ribs in, shoulder blades together. Front ribs in. And I'm not moving my hips to do this. That's the hard part. In some sense, it's the hard part. Okay, and then now take the arms out to the side. You're really, whatchamacallit, stable. And you're just doing rotation. Really stable. Very cool. And then now we'll do the side bending. So take it up, really stable. Come up through center, go the other way. Same move we've been doing all class, but now it's much more challenging because of the way we're standing. Then come for the appellate shoulders. They do not have to be on the shoulder all the way. And it's just whatever works for your body. But the shoulders are going back, yeah. I didn't bother doing forward. We could have done forward, but I didn't bother. All right, so now before you go, I did warm this up. So but I think it's gonna be best if we do the pigeon chest instead of the bind. So bring them to the hips, make it the pigeon chest. First line up with the back leg. Pull your core in so you're really lined up with the back leg. Keep that alignment as you hinge forward. Really getting the chest open if you can. This is a really hard pose in my opinion. And then from here, I'm going to come up. I want to hinge forward again to line up with the leg, really knit in. The arms are out to the side. And then I'm going to twist to the left and really work. I'm working. Wow. There we go. Woo! I'm working my front ribs. I'm working my hips like crazy. Working my back. Really working. Okay, good. And then come out of that. You can bring your hands down, step the back leg forward, push into the floor, and rise. Whew, I strongly recommend staying for the melt class, you guys. I'm going to be tired. All right, I'm going to have to come up with some easy way to do my exercise bike today. I'm going to have worn myself out. I might have to have carbs or something. All right, so let's get it down on the mat. And it's 9:30 something, 6 or 8 or something. So I'm going to go down here. Woo! I hope that was good. Was that good? I thought it was super hard. What do you guys think? Too hard? What was it? It was good. I got to see a couple thumbs. Yeah, okay. Cool. That was good. We need that, you guys. We got to keep moving. All right, so I'm just going to do a couple things that are going to feel good to me after that. And one of them is actually, I think a nice happy baby would feel good. And I did a little windshield wipers without cueing it. And then, oh, that feels good. And then I'm actually going to do stretch one leg out and the other one up. And you could use a strap for this, right? Like I used to always use a strap for this. So first thing I'm doing is just taking it over to the left. I'm really squeezing the towel, and that's outer hip. And then the second thing I'm going to do is go into a twist. And in the twist, I'm going to be on the side of the left leg. The right leg is pressing into something, whether it's the floor, it can be bent, it can be straight, it can have a block under it. But you got to be able to press it into something a little. So you can feel the inner leg activate on it. And then you're going to open up. And you want to feel your side lift like we've been working on and all the core stuff. And then we can come out of this one and we'll do the other side. So on the other side, let's have the leg first starts out, the hip is on the floor, right? And you're taking the leg. And this, this is difficult for you, your outer leg is really tight. People will say your IT band is tight. And we just need to get your hips stronger. And that's what we do, mostly what we do. So hopefully we can do it. And I would be happy to come to your house. Don't forget that. I don't have anything scheduled right now for next week. So, you know, my best day is Thursday, but I can always make other days work if I need to. So just let me know if you do want me to come work on something again, or for the first time. I can see some stuff out there when I watch you guys that I can really help with, I think. Oh, that feels good. All right, now I'm going over to the side and doing this one. So I did it with my foot on the floor, but listen, you don't have to. You can have it on a block. You can have it bent like we usually do it. The main thing is you want to keep your hips stacked. So if you can't stack your hips and kind of engage your core to lift up, then you want to get the leg into a position where you can do that. So for me with the leg straight, it's really hard, right? So I don't know, you know, if everybody's that. I'm actually kind of weirdly flexible in this direction. So, you know, compared to, I think I've noticed a lot of you guys. Wow. Oh, that felt so good. And then come out of that. So don't feel like you have to copy me is what I'm saying. The way we usually do it in class is really better for our group, especially if you have SI joint instability. If you don't have that, then it's not as big of a deal. All right, so I think we did good. Let's do just a little break here. You can get into whatever position you want. Try to let your jaw relax. Try to settle into it. If I had a glass of water in here, but I don't. Long breaths, long breaths. Much gratitude to you guys for sticking with your yoga practice and sticking with me through this time that we've been going through. Things are crazy. I'm looking at the next COVID strain. They're saying, you know, stealth Omicron, and sigh. It's a big old sigh that comes out with that. I invite you all to just sigh that out. All right, I don't know what this reading is that I pulled up, but I'm just going to read it and see what it is. Value the power of seeing. I have learned a valuable tool. It is one of the easiest and most powerful tools I've been given. I call it the power of seeing. It is the simple act of observing myself, what I do, how I react, how I respond. It is particularly useful in situations that have gotten confused or sticky, and I don't know what to do to become unstuck. When I feel overwhelmed or a situation gets too difficult and I can't see my way through, I watch myself. It helps. Learn to observe yourself. Let yourself really see and be present in the moment, in the situation you're in. Watch yourself as a neutral observer without judgment. Try to see the other person in the same way. Watch how the two of you interact, respond to each other. Watch yourself think and feel. See the actions you take. You don't have to talk about what you're doing. It's better if you don't. Just stay with yourself. Do it once, do it twice, and then do it again. Soon you'll begin to see something else. You'll begin to see the situation change, evolve, take a turn for the better. The power of seeing is one most of us can easily claim. It helps, heals, and sometimes produces miracles. Physicists have decided that the act of observing can impact the behavior, appearance, or energy of whatever is being observed. How we look at someone, including ourselves, can have an impact, cause a change. There's power in seeing. There's even more power in seeing with the eyes of love. Is that a bunny rabbit? Oh my God, it is. It's so cute. Oh, jeez. All right, you guys, if you want to stay where you are, you don't have to rush to see the bunny. It'll still be there. You can stay where you are and I'll put you in a room, or you can roll to the side, and then I'm going to spotlight the bunny for everybody.
This is what I have for the week.
So, what's the bunny's name?
Hello.
Get over here, Madison. Tell him. Come here. Get over here.
What is it?
Willow.
Oh?
Willow.
Yeah.
Willow.
Willow, right, Willow. I think I've heard you say that before, I think. I like that.
I'm going to do this class afterwards. That was a good class. That's why I was trying to watch this still, but I had to stop because we're staying for the week. So the amount of stuff that is in my den right now. And you saw my.
I really like the class.
The what?
I said I really liked the class. I thought it was very, very good.
Good.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. Let me give you a farewell here. Remember, you guys are loving and lovable. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna
Claire.
set. All right, good, good. I'm gonna